What's up guys, Foggy Train here. Today I wanted to talk about an industry plague that has been infecting just about every single genre and beloved franchise that we know today. If you clicked on this video, you probably already know what I'm talking about. Microtransactions. I want to start this video by going back in time. A happier time. A simpler time. The date is September 14th, 2010. Halo Reach just came out. You've spent $60 that you saved from your recent birthday and can't wait to try out this new game. You put the disc in, and side note, it plays without even having to download it. You just put it in and it comes on and you can just play it. That's a whole different story though. You open the main menu to see campaign, matchmaking, firefight, custom games, forge, and theater. You click start and you see the customization screen. It's unlike anything you've ever seen. Helmets with customizable visors and attachments, chest plates and individual shoulder guards, knee guards, armor effects, and more. All of this is unlockable by playing the game. Literally just playing the game. You can do just about anything in this game and unlock cosmetics. You want to play the campaign? Sure, that'll level you up. Matchmaking? Of course, that'll work too. Want to make a map and mess around with your siblings or friends in split screen couch co-op? That'll also give you XP. Not to mention every color being unlocked for you from the start of the game, as well as emblems. Was Halo Reach a perfect game? For many people that's going to be a massive, extreme, hard no. But in my opinion, it was the absolute peak of customization and the feeling of fulfillment from just playing the game however you want to play it. How far we have fallen. The first thing I want to do is go over what microtransactions are and some of the different variations that we see today. Microtransactions are defined as a very small financial transaction conducted online, and they've been around for years and years. They were arguably popularized by Fortnite, but they've been around since a long time before Fortnite came out. In a general sense, you could consider things like DLCs and map packs, expansions, that kind of thing, to be microtransactions, technically. But that's not what I'm talking about. I never had an issue with those. I felt satisfied whenever I bought the Dawn Guard or Dragonborn DLC for Skyrim. I felt satisfied whenever I bought a map pack for Call of Duty, Black Ops 1. What I want to talk about today are the just genuinely predatory and greedy practices that have become way too common in the industry today and are pretty much unavoidable whenever you're just looking for a new game to try out and enjoy. In the mobile game scene, I remember games like Game of War, Clash of Clans, and many other mobile titles charging for the ability to gain power for years. So pay to win. The most egregious example being Game of War, like I had mentioned before. This game attempted to kind of replicate the model of Clash of Clans in a more mature and more realistic setting and look, and they used some like supermodel girl to kind of like market the game. It was weird, but anyway, for a while this game was actually one of my favorites. Me and my brother really liked this game. I actually preferred it over Clash of Clans because I thought the cartoony style of Clash of Clans was too like childish for me. I mean, I was like 14 or something playing this, so I don't know why it was a problem for me. But my brother and I kind of grinded this game out. We started the alliances, which is equivalent to a clan in Clash of Clans, and we actually were pretty powerful in the game at the time for like our little world that we were in. But sadly, the developer behind the game, Machine Zone, they became very greedy, and they just implemented some horrible changes to the game over time that made it pretty much unplayable for anyone who wasn't actually rich. They saw the potential of these people that are often referred to as whales, people who just have a ton of money to drop on games to just speed through the progression of it. Being a city builder game, obviously there's upgrade timers and resources that are required to upgrade these buildings and things like that. This led to those upgrade timers getting longer and longer to the point where eventually it was at like 30 months before a building would be completed, and I thought that was ridiculous. But now it's like longer than the human lifetime for some buildings to complete. And you literally have to spend money if you want to get anything done. There are packs that they give you for free whenever you like join back after a while in order to kind of get you a little bit caught up. It doesn't catch you up much. And the worst thing they do is whenever you buy a gold pack or whatever, in order to purchase resources or speed up timers, whatever it is that you're trying to buy. Let's say you buy the $5 one first. Once you buy that $5 one, you're locked out of the $5 option ever again. The next step is the $10 option. Once you buy that one, you can't buy the $5 one or the $10 one. You can only buy the $15 or $20 option. And so this is just to force you to have to spend more and more and more money if you want to keep playing the game. It's really, really awful stuff. Seriously terrible. I'm not gonna lie, whenever the game was newer, I did spend a fair share of money, more than I should have for sure. But I mean, dude, I was like 13, 14 at the time playing this game, so I didn't have any idea of like what I should be doing with my money. I didn't need to save for anything, so that's one of the things that these companies target, is just kids who are impatient and just want things to go by fast, so they'll just keep dropping money into it. Them constantly increasing the upgrade time to longer and longer and preventing you from buying the cheaper packs ever again is one of the reasons why I ended up moving on to Clash of Clans, which I do have my issues with Clash of Clans as well, but significantly less than Game of War. That is by far the worst I've ever seen. Clash of Clans is a different case. While microtransactions are 100% present in the game, they aren't necessary at all. You can 100% just play through the whole game and never spend a single dollar. It's gonna take you a long time, but there aren't timers that will take you 30 months or the entire human lifetime to complete. You know, like it's doable. The longest I've seen is maybe like a week or something like that. I'm sure they get longer after a while. I'm Town Hall like 11 or something. Clash of Clans has been pretty good with it so far. Another thing Clash of Clans does with their microtransactions is when you make a microtransaction, you're typically going to be purchasing gems, which is the premium currency in the game. They also give you plenty of opportunity to earn these gems in-game just by playing it. And they introduced in the builder base, which is a spin-off of the main game, which it's in the game, but it's a spin-off of the main base. Something called a gem mine, which while it doesn't give you a lot of gems per day, you can upgrade it and get a consistent amount of gems per day just by going in and collecting it every day. Also, there's objects like trees and rocks and bushes that you can remove, as well as a gem box that'll give you sometimes like 20-something gems. So removing all of those objects give you gems, so there is always an opportunity to have gems in your inventory at all times. Also, just by leveling up, sometimes you'll get gems. I typically have between like 300 to 500, 600 or so gems in my inventory at all times. And to be fair, as time has gone on, the gems have become super devalued. You're typically not gonna be able to use this to just clear out an upgrade timer. You're probably gonna have to wait a few days, and then once you only have like a day left on the timer or a few hours left, you can just click to use your gems to speed up the process. And if you're impatient like me, you'll be doing that often. Mobile games in general typically just prey on people who are impatient. As seen with Clash of Clans, not as much so, but with Game of War, extremely so. Just about every game that you come across on the Google Play Store or the App Store, you are going to see many ads that keep coming up, and you're going to be very frustrated, and they're going to keep on saying, do you want to pay this one-time amount or this subscription fee so that you never get ads again? That's essentially just, again, preying on people who are impatient because they don't want to have to waste time, 30 seconds or their whole life to be able to just play the game, you know? Obviously, that's not the only use of microtransactions that exists, but rather just the first of several that I want to talk about today. The second is the loot box or loot crate. This is probably the worst and most like egregious of all of them. The system is so absolutely terrible that there's been like legal action and all kinds of countries trying to ban this due to it being essentially gambling. And of course, you know, minors participating in basically gambling is not really okay. For years, you could pretty much expect to see this in like every single release. Just off the top of my head, I can think of like Star Wars Battlefront 2, Call of Duty World War 2, and Halo 5 with the rec packs or whatever. These loot boxes or loot crates, whatever you want to call them, they sell you on the possibility of winning this big prize, which is typically just like some cosmetic that's really cool or rare but has no real value at the end of the day. You're just wasting money, and you might get something cool if you're lucky. You can spend $100 on loot crates and possibly have just wasted your money by getting like common rarity repeats of the same cosmetics that you already have. So there's a lot of wasted time and money that goes into these. This system has gotten a lot of well-deserved hate, and it's a lot less common in video games today. I can't really think of any games recently that include these kinds of loot crates. The closest I can think of is Mortal Kombat 1, but the loot crates that they have comes from the shrine. But what that does is it's currency that you earn in-game. I don't believe there's any way to purchase the coins, they're called. You're spending all this time working hard to earn this currency from completing challenges and fights and things like that. And then you go to the shrine, which then you put in 1,000 coins and you have the chance to unlock some cosmetics. It's basically a massive waste of time still, even though you're not spending any money on this. I still think it sucks. I think it is a horrible system, even if you're not paying for it. For example, I spent hours playing it and I got 4 or 5 just basically concept art things, which I mean, concept art is cool. It's so cool. I love concept art. Give me a skin I can put on my character, some kind of gear, a color palette, something, please God. The microtransaction version of that kind of loot box takes a waste of time and turns it into a waste of money. If I spent $20 on a loot crate in Mortal Kombat 1 and I just got 4 legendary concept arts and a rare mask for one character that I don't even play as, I'd be a very unhappy camper. And that's what happens 90% of the time when you get these loot crates. You're not getting what you're hoping for, what they sell you and the possibility of earning. You're getting some randomized crap that you probably don't want. And that's basically the reason why they're not really in many games today at all anymore, because everyone hates them as they rightfully should. Now, moving on from what I consider to be the absolute worst, most horrible, terrible version of microtransactions to the version that I think is actually the best. Not good, but if I had to pick one, it would be the Battle Pass. I do still very much not like Battle Passes, but at the very least, you can expect to pay about $10 in just about any game that has a Battle Pass, and theoretically, that's all you'll ever have to pay. You'll be able to earn that currency back just by playing the game, and typically there's enough premium currency included in the Battle Pass that you unlock and you're able to buy the next Battle Pass. The concept of the Battle Pass was first introduced by Valve in a game called Dota 2 back in 2013. Fast forward to 2017, Fortnite Battle Royale came out with its own version of the Battle Pass in 2017. I think I said that already. And that blew up and massively popularized it for every other video game pretty much you can imagine right now. And I mean, the idea is simple, and it seems like a genuinely good concept at first glance. Pay $10 and perpetually earn new cosmetics for as long as you can imagine, as long as you make the time and complete the challenges and the full Battle Pass before the season ends. In free-to-play games, this model makes the most sense. You're supporting a developer who made this game free-to-play to begin with, so $10 is actually a steal, right? Well, that's the basic concept, but
were it so easy.
This is where I'm going to segue into the next version of microtransactions, which is very, very closely linked to the Battle Pass and the issue that I take with the system, what makes it an imperfect concept. For the sake of consistency, whenever I'm referring to these microtransaction types and premium currency, I'm going to explain in Fortnite terms. You complete the Battle Pass. You have 30 days until the next season starts. You now have 1,000 V-Bucks in your inventory, so just enough to buy the next Battle Pass. Just for curiosity's sake, you move over to the item shop to see what's in the store today. To your surprise, you see that literally Sauron, the Dark Lord of Mordor, is in the item shop. You're astounded that he's only 1,000 V-Bucks. You have enough, so you purchase this, in reality, $10 skin, and you wear it for a week or so until you're sick of it. Next thing you know, the new season's Battle Pass came out today. So you spend another $10 and you get the Battle Pass, and you tell yourself that that's it. Until Ultra Instant Goku shows up, and the process repeats. This may seem like a non-issue, save your money, you don't have to spend it, it's only cosmetics. And those things are true, except that a massive amount of people who play these games are children and teenagers who are not really financially responsible. These two systems work hand in hand to prey on these kinds of individuals who see it as, oh, it's just $20 or $10 until $10 or $20 becomes hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Even the name microtransaction is meant to imply that you're not really spending that much money. And as if that clever wording isn't enough, FOMO, or the fear of missing out, is heavily used in order to influence people to buy things as soon as they come out. Such as, if you don't buy the Battle Pass early enough, you might not have enough time to finish it. Or if you've been busy during the season and you haven't been able to keep up with it and complete it, if you want to get to the end, to that level 100 tier to get Darth Vader, you can always just drop a little bit of cash on it and fast track your way to the end of the Battle Pass. Alternatively, if you've been busy and you don't pay to finish, you'll just have to pay another $10 to get a new Battle Pass. Even if you've gotten so far in the Battle Pass that you unlocked 900 V-Bucks, you'll still have to spend about $10 to get enough V-Bucks, because there's no option to only buy 100 V-Bucks. Also, the item shop refreshes daily and weekly, so you're going to want to make sure that you get that before it gets out of the item shop again. Some items, like skins, gliders, pickaxes, are kept out of the item shop for years sometimes in order to artificially increase their rarity and therefore value in the eyes of the players, which influences a lot of players to purchase these items as soon as they're re-released into the item shop so that they don't risk the chance of missing them again. But that's not the only kind of rarity in item shops. Skins are given their own designated rarity, shown with different colors like gray for common, green for uncommon, blue for rare, purple for epic, and then gold for legendary. Typically, that's usually how it goes. That's the Fortnite terms. But that rarity doesn't actually reflect how often the item is in the item shop and how rare it actually is. All the rarity really means is that this skin costs $10 because it's blue. This skin costs $15 because it's purple, and this skin costs $20 because it's golden. So that's why you're paying a full $20 for this skin that happens to have a golden background, so obviously it's worth that much. So all in all, everything from the limited release, the supposed rarities that are imposed, and minimum purchase amounts of V-Bucks are all designed to convince the customer that they need to purchase these skins right now and that the amount they're spending isn't really that much. This brings me to the next system that I want to talk about, which is subscription services. This is a very case-by-case basis depending on which game you're playing and which subscription service you're subscribed to. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I did just want to kind of briefly touch on it and explain what it is. These will usually vary in price depending on the subscription, from like $5 a month up to around $15 a month. That's usually the highest I see. And these subscriptions can be used in a variety of different ways for different things. For example, GTA Plus will give you free properties and vehicles and businesses, as well as I want to say like $1 million a month. Fortnite will give you free cosmetics monthly, as well as access to the premium battle pass. And whenever I had it, you also would get access to the Save the World, so the premium story content that was in the game before it blew up as like a battle royale focused game. Fallout First also gave a certain amount of premium currency per month, as well as free decorations, as well as some free consumables in the item shop, and most controversially, the ability to store an unlimited amount of junk in the designated junk storage thing that you get from subscribing to Fallout First. Fallout First is a subscription service for Fallout 76, if I didn't explain that previously. In a game where crafting and building things is a huge part of it, that junk, which is the materials that are used to craft, is a huge aspect of the game. And so locking that carrying capacity behind a paywall is really not cool, because I mean that's like a serious need for many players, is to be able to have as much junk as possible in order to fully experience and enjoy the game. The other big one that I can think of is Minecraft with their realms, which it makes sense to me that you're kind of renting a server almost so that it's constantly live, your friends can join at any time. And I've actually subscribed to this many times. I've always ended up kind of wasting money because I'd forget that I was even subscribed to it whenever we'd stop playing Minecraft, but that's fine to me. That's whatever. There's many more like this, different cases, and they're all different, like I mentioned before, but those are just the ones kind of off the top of my head. And in my opinion, they can go kind of either way. Some of them are good, like Fortnite's Crew. I think that's actually a fantastic subscription. And then there's some that are like Fallout First, which is just horrible and not cool at all. I think Fortnite has a really decent thing going for it with the Crew Pack, and you actually get the most value from it, while Fallout 76 is designed so that players feel that they need to be subscribed to the service in order to fully enjoy the game. So all in all, when your core experience is reliant on microtransactions, you have a serious problem. Now that I've kind of talked about the different kinds of microtransactions and their systems and uses, I want to talk about my own personal issue with microtransactions. So going back to earlier in the video, I talked about Halo Reach's customization and how I think that customization actually peaked with Halo Reach. I genuinely believe that there was something significant that was lost over the years as microtransactions more and more became the primary way of earning cosmetics in games. And that's something that was lost, I believe, is the sense of accomplishment. I remember how cool it was to have like the Hayabusa armor in Halo 3 or the Haunted helmet in Halo Reach. Side note, I have played other games outside of Halo. These are just, in my opinion, the best examples of the kind of customization that I think makes games so enjoyable. But my point is that cosmetics used to be something that you could be proud of. I remember back in the day, whenever I'd play a game, you'd see somebody with like the super high level armor, like something that you know is really hard to unlock, and you'd just be amazed at how much they must have played the game and how good they must be to have this cosmetic. Like if you saw somebody with the Haunted helmet in Halo Reach, you knew they were about to drop like 30 kills on your team. And it sucks because I don't get that feeling anymore. I remember in Fortnite Season 3, the John Wick skin was memed to be like the scariest thing in the world to see whenever you played the game, because somehow they had already hit tier 100. But then you remember that some people just pay their whole way through the battle pass and it just becomes really a lot less impressive. Because there's no way to know if they actually earned it and like worked super hard and no life to the game, or if they just dropped a whole check so that they could look like they were cool, which is honestly just embarrassing. The most common argument you'll see for people arguing for microtransactions is that it's just cosmetic, you know, it's not a big deal, it's not pay to win, that's what matters. And to me, it's honestly just depressing that doesn't really mean anything to people anymore. Expression and that sense of achievement are, to me at least, just as important as the actual gameplay in a multiplayer game. Everyone wants to stand out, that's just human nature. And these video game companies just found a way to suck the soul out of the whole experience by locking it behind paywalls and just oversimplifying the process. Today, typically the battle pass is the closest thing you'll get to feeling that sense of achievement, but even then, the experience is devalued knowing that you may have worked super hard for all these cosmetics, but these other people just paid for it, and they still have the exact same thing as you without having to put in any of the work. With the rise of microtransactions came the fall of built-in unlockable cosmetics. Systems like the one in Halo Reach, which I know I keep talking about it a lot, it was just so good, but those systems are just about a thing of the past. Games like Hypercharge Unboxed made pretty much their entire marketing about the fact that every single cosmetic in the game is unlockable just by playing the game. And that's just such a crazy thing today that makes it a great way to market a game. Overall, I think that microtransactions have had a massive impact on the video game industry, not only on the players themselves, but also just the player experience. And I know that this will probably never go away due to the amount of money that's being made, as well as rising development costs. But honestly, I'm 100% serious whenever I say I would rather pay $100 for another Halo Reach than $70 for a game like Diablo 4 that still has a battle pass and a premium item shop. That is genuinely insulting to the player. Anyway, that's just about it. I'm super excited for microtransactions like the Elden Ring DLC and the Starfield DLC because, you know, those are actual content and make sense. But I decided recently to never buy another cosmetic microtransaction again because it's just, I can't bring myself to do it. I refuse. I know several people who have spent over $500 on Fortnite alone. That's not even counting probably the crew pack included, Minecraft Realm subscriptions, other games that have microtransactions that they don't even think about. And sadly, I can count myself among one of these people. The amount of money I've spent in Fortnite is horrid. It is not okay. I highly recommend anyone who thinks they don't spend a lot of money on microtransactions to go through your payments on your Microsoft, Epic Games, or Sony account and add it all up. The chances are you will be amazed by just how much money you actually spent. And all of that together is why I believe that microtransactions need to die. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video. I know this was a really, really long one, so I have my fingers crossed for this video's performance. This is the first of hopefully many videos in this kind of essay style format. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I would love to know your thoughts. Please let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about microtransactions? Also, do you have any tips for how I could improve my videos like this? Are there any topics you'd like to see me cover? Any and all comments are greatly appreciated. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much.